the TCI Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Tonight from Dondero High School, it's the Clawson Trojans taking on the Dondero Oaks. Hello again, everyone. Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson here at Dondero High School, where tonight the Clawson Trojans come in to take on the Dondero Oaks. Joe, it's parents' night for Dondero, and they've got to come up big here tonight. Yeah, Dondero hasn't won a game yet this year under Todd Schultz, the first-year head coach, but they've come close a couple times, and it's just been a matter of them getting in the red zone and scoring. They've had no problem moving the ball up and down the field. They just can't get it in the end zone, and that's something they're going to work on tonight. They'd rather have a low-scoring game, kind of grind it out, whereas Clawson, they're all for just run and gun, light up the scoreboard and see who scores more. Yeah, but they're going to try to light up the scoreboard with their passing game and Jason LaPlace. Yeah, Jason LaPlace is the #1 receiver on the team. They've got 28 completions this season. 22 of them are to Jason LaPlace. Coaches aren't really that happy about that. They want the quarterbacks to start looking for other guys. He's got all 5 touchdown catches. He is the key player, but I think they've got to find more than just him to be an effective offense. Okay, so if there's one thing Dondero can do defensively, and that's key on Jason LaPlace, the receiver. On the other side, the key player for the Dondero Oaks would be Mike Lother, because they've got 2 key players injured. That's right, one of whom, Ryan Wargo, is out sick. He's been in the hospital this week. They're hoping he can make it for Parents' Night. But Lother's the key guy offensively and defensively. He plays fullback on offense, which means you want that grinded out ground control ball game. He's going to have to get the yards. He's going to have to open it up for Richardson, the tailback. And on defense, he's the middle linebacker. He makes everything go, and he's going to have to get in there, pressure Gil Stark, make him throw off his back foot if he can, and make him look for somebody else. Yeah, last year we did this game also, and Lother was all over the place defensively. We'll see if he can do anything to stop Jason LaPlace and that offense of Gil Starks on the other side with the Trojans. We'll be back with the kickoff of tonight's game right after these messages. Stay with us. The TCI Sports Game of the Week is brought to you by Modernistic Carpet Cleaning, Comet Burgers in Royal Oak, Mike's Market Share Coupon Book, and by Bell Tire.
I'm the king.
Of rock and roll?
No, coupons. I'm Mike Gauthier. Some people call me the king of coupons because nobody brings you bigger savings than my Market Share Coupon Book. Having trouble saving money? Then do what the Tripp family does. Carry the book, Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. You'll save thousands on things you use every day, like eyeglasses, oil changes, and cleaning from companies you trust. But you can't save unless you carry the book. Remember, you'll save a king's ransom using my Market Share Coupon Book.
Rumor has it, Comet Burgers is definitely the place to be seen in downtown Royal Oak. After the party, out for dinner, just looking for cold soft drinks, great burgers and fries, milkshakes or pizzas. Comet Burgers is the place to run into just about anybody.
Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Even old what's-his-name. Comet Burgers, they're out of this world.
When you call Modernistic, we'll show up with this, $35,000 worth of carpet and upholstery cleaning technology.
Call the competition. They'll probably show up with this.
Our truck-mounted equipment can professionally clean your carpets with 10 times the power of portable cleaners, removing dirt, harmful bacteria, pollens, and more.
The competition can't.
Of course, there is one thing the competition does that we can't.
They make a lot more noise.
Modernistic, count on us.
So the tire store guy says, great deal on them tires. You want valve stems? No thanks. Your tires won't work without valve stems. They're extra. Then he told me all the other extras I needed. So guess what happened to my great deal on them tires?
Only Bell Tire gives you out-the-door pricing. You get the guaranteed lowest price, and at Bell Tire, it's the total, complete, everything's included price with absolutely no extras ever.
Bell Tire.
Nobody comes close, nobody's closer.
Welcome back to the TCI Game of the Week. As we see the kickoff fall short, it is kicked by Ryan Began for the Dondero Oaks.
And Ryan Began kicked it out of bounds, so Clawson will get the ball, I think, at the 35 or 40-yard line.
They want him to kick it again, looks like.
Boy, why would... Well, okay, it's a coach's decision to do that, but they could just take the ball.
Here's our records. Clawson at 3-1 in the conference, doing well. 3-4 overall, though. And Dondero 0-6 in the conference, 0-7 overall. And it's been a rough year for first-year head coach Todd Schultz. On the far side, you see a familiar face, Dick Moore, who's been coaching the Clawson Trojans for many years.
Yeah, with Clawson at 3-1, obviously an 0-3 non-league record.
And then you see Todd.
Yeah, Todd Schultz in his first year just trying to get a program established, which is hard to do your first season.
Was offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator for 11 years at North Farmington. And look at this return. And that's why you had it kicked over. A great return by Goff, Dan Goff for Clawson. Brings it out across the 40 and close to the 45-yard line. So great field position here for Clawson, Joe.
It comes out to about an 8-yard advantage, I think, off where they would have had it. And they faked the reverse there to Matt Schmidt. And it bought him just a little bit of space. And then Goff just went down the field, as a good returner would do. Didn't make a whole lot of moves, got as good field position as he could. Again, Clawson, those 3 non-league losses, being 0-3 there. Well, they're Division IV, which means they had to step up in every non-league game.
Gil Stark takes the Trojans as the quarterback on their first down. They go to the air, looking deep down the middle of the field and complete to Jason LaPlace. Touchdown on the very first play.
I'll tell you what, I know that I know that Dick Moore wants him to look for other people, but if he's going to get those results, why bother? That's the 6th touchdown pass of the year for Stark and the 6th touchdown catch of the year for LaPlace.
56 yards on the play. Let's take a look at it.
Great
Nice
play
thing.
action. Great play action, buys him time, and at this point, LaPlace already beat his men deep by himself, and underneath, he did have a couple of guys open, but if you got your deep man that far past the last defender, you got to go there. Great first play of the game for the Trojans.
And now the extra point attempt. Kyle Lindsay to do the kicking. He gets it up high, and it looks like it's good. It is. Clawson up quickly, 7-0.
Well, again, we said in the open that, hey, the Clawson coaches are all for having a high-scoring shootout tonight. And it's not the way, obviously, that Dondero wants to start things. And, you know, they've got some defensive backs out. They took advantage of that fact. You've got Stark burning a couple of backup defensive backs deep with one of the better receivers in Oakland County, actually, in terms of statistics. And here's Jason LaPlace, 6th touchdown catch of the year, as we said before. His 23rd catch overall.
And LaPlace had him beat. Both defenders, and he gets the extra point. Lindsay does, and it makes it 7-0. One play, 56 yards, 11 seconds off the clock. And most of that was just on the count.
Yeah, great way to start.
And that great field position did it. You talk about Goff. Why did you want to kick it over? Well, Goff gave him great field position. They came back and ran one right down the middle of the field. Kyle Lindsay to kick off now for Clawson. Yeah, it is high and short at about the 17-yard line. Taken there, and a nice return there for Dondero.
That was Tim Towers on the return. He got under it, able to get them pretty good field position, almost up to the 30-yard line. Now it's up to their offense. Remember, they want to grind it out. They can't allow themselves to get into a shooting match here. So you're down 7-0. Don't worry about the fact that it was one play. You want to make it 7-7 on a 10-play drive.
And now the first possession for the Oaks. Tony DeLuca, their quarterback.
He looked good in the other game we did this year against Avondale. He had some problems, I think, with his receivers not running their routes completely. Hopefully they've worked that out since then.
Lowther is the up back. The tailback is Richardson, and Richardson gains pretty good yardage on the first down carry. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, you know,
about 6.
It's a pretty big backfield. You know, we talked to Dick Moore. We said, is there anything over there that you're really concerned about? And he said, yeah, it's the biggest backfield we'll play this year. You've got Richardson, 6 feet tall, 220 pounds, following Lowther, who's 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. This is a very big backfield, and it's just something you're not used to if you're Clawson. And you could see there Richardson able to push the guy back for maybe an extra yard on that
I think
run.
his face mask was brushed there. Kevin Ireland, our referee, umpire Dan Wolf, Mike Barton, Tom Monfus, and Jeff Monfus, father and son, working the lines in the back. Lowther in motion. They go that way with Richardson. Richardson trying to turn the corner. Good penetration there by Ryan McDonald, number 56.
Yeah, Ryan McDonald came from behind, able to get him, and Lowther really, he couldn't take two guys out, and just kind of left him there for nothing. If you're wondering if you'd seen the game previous to this, as you see Richardson getting taken down from behind, Lowther, the first game, wore number 50, and he did play fullback, and they've changed him to 45 for a simple reason. With number 50, you're allowed to take a handoff and run the ball, but you're not allowed to catch the ball. Now, you got to have a number, either a single digit or the team's 20s, 30s, 40s, 80s, or 90s. So he's now wearing 45 so he can catch the ball as well. Because otherwise, the minute you put him in motion, the minute the quarterback dropped back to pass, you didn't worry about him anymore.
DeLuca now calling some extra signals out there to the split receivers. Now Lowther's in motion again. And as Joe said, now they can throw to him and may do that, and they do. And it was just overthrown. As he overthrows Lowther, the coverage by Goff down there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Goff was there to get him. He would have maybe gained 2 or 3 yards. He wasn't going to get the first down, so it's not that big a deal. He's got to get that throw down. That's kind of a little side hitch throw. Looks a little like Bernie Kosar when he releases it. But again, he looked pretty good the first game we saw him. Luka did. You know, it's just a matter of getting his confidence going. Now they're going to have to punt it and hope their defense can come up a little better than they did previously.
4th and 11 and a punting down for Began. And back to receive is Goff. And Schmidt, Matt Schmidt will take it at about the 41-yard line. He goes down the sidelines. He's got one blocker there, and he gets a good block, and he slips just shy of the 20-yard line. It'll be at the 21-yard line. Great field position. So we've seen a great kickoff return by Goff, and now a great punt return here by Schmidt.
And 2 key blocks on this return. The first one by Goff, you're going to see right at the beginning, number 10. Hopefully you're going to see it as he comes right around the corner here. There's Goff. Just freeze him up just a little bit. Now he gets downfield. You're going to see another one by Budakian. Coming up right there, frees him up, gets him a couple extra yards, and then he actually slips trying to make another cut. But, boy, they're knocking on the door already.
Matt Schmidt, 39 yards on the return to the 21-yard line of Dondero. Clawson with the power eye right. They go to the right, and a nice run there. Following his blockers is number 45, Budakian.
Budakian, yeah, I said that wrong the first time. Sorry about that. Rick, knew it when I said it, too. But yeah, now the
he doesn't. He got a nice carry there,
exactly. Joe. Little different look than they showed the first time. Now he's following his blockers, and hey, you know, they talk about the big guys over there on Dondero. This guy's 6 feet, 203 pounds. That's not exactly a small tailback.
2nd and about 6 coming up here for the Trojans. And a flag flies.
Yeah, I think somebody. Well, it looked like somebody in Clawson moved, but they're pointing at Dondero. Somebody must have lined up in the neutral zone.
And it is.
Yeah.
2nd down and about a yard now.
Well, if you're ever going to do that play action, you know, we talked to Dick Moore, and he said they've done some drills where they make Stark throw it over the middle. They want him to hit his tight end for a change. Here's a great opportunity to do it. He's got a 6'3", 245-pound tight end. Can't miss that target.
They go again to Budakian. Budakian rumbling down for the first down and gets down to about the 1 or 2 yard line. And a great run there behind his blockers for Budakian, leading the way.
Yeah, well, that's the line and the other running backs leading the way for him. He got a nice block there from Andy Pounders, along with some of that offensive line, including Ryan McDonald. Well, they're a yard away from another touchdown.
Budakian, good size, 6 feet and 203 pounds. 1st and goal. And the quarterback sneak is successful as Gil Stark takes it in. And 2 possessions for Clawson and 2 touchdowns. And if you're Todd Schultz right now, you've got to be worried.
Yeah, because it hasn't even been tough. You know, it's just whatever play they've tried has worked. They've tried deep passes. They've tried off-tackle running. They tried a quarterback sneak. The return game's there. Their defense held them to -1 yard. Really, you don't have anything going right, and Clawson doesn't have anything going wrong, and you're only a couple minutes into this game.
Lindsay in for the extra point.
Well, there's something going wrong.
Yeah, and, well, let's see if Lindsay can throw. He's going to run, and now he throws it, And they get 2 points out of it.
He had 2 guys open, too. He had
He could
everybody
have gone
open,
way across the other side of the field.
which is the tough Brett Favre throw to make instead. Oh, man.
Well, they called for the release, and not everybody was covered, so.
Ryan Shoemaker in the back of the end zone made the catch. And, you know, this is something that you do have to practice. And right here, the holder yells fire. Everybody knows now something's wrong. Now, Goff doesn't pick it up. Instead, Lindsey does. All he is a kicker. It's not like he's one of the D-backs or anything like that. He's looking to the back. He suddenly sees Shoemaker all by himself. Throws it a little high, and Shoemaker, you see, makes sure that he's got it. He knows there's no one going to hit him or anything like that. That's a well-coached team. That's good discipline. Nobody panicked. Everybody knew exactly where to be. He had another guy off to the left side in a spot. That was perfectly executed.
Yeah, even when things go bad for Clawson, they managed to come up with more points out of it. Clawson 15, Dondero nothing, and now the Oaks need to string together some first downs and start moving the ball.
I want to know who Clawson's non-league games were. They're a pretty good football team.
Now, it's shocking to see the record at 3-1 and then 3-4 overall. Back to receive for Dondero. It'll be Justin Goodwin, number 24, and number 25, Tim Towers. There you see the scoring drive. 3 plays, 21 yards. Stark with the 1-yard run, the 2-point conversion by Lindsey to Shoemaker. Here's the run by Towers again, and getting across the 20, close to the 25-yard line.
Now Dondero's got to get something going offensively. You want to keep that Clawson offense off the field for a little while anyway, if nothing else. And again, another good return by Towers. Does what he's supposed to do.
And Joe, you want to point out something here?
Well, I wasn't going to point it out on the air. I was just going to show you something from the newspaper about their league record. According to the newspaper, Clawson's league record is 3-2, so there would be 2 losses, one of which would have to be to Oak Park, who's undefeated. And Oak Park's got a guy who's run for, let me see how many yards does he run for, 1,097. I think he had a 380-yard game.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so he's just, that's just a good football team.
You know that would be one of them.
Yeah.
High formation, 2 receivers up top for DeLuca. DeLuca throwing deep. Intended down there for number 24, Justin Goodwin. He had Joe Scheid going down the middle of the field, but he had a short receiver that was open there,
I'll
Joe.
tell you what, he had Joe Scheid down the middle of the field, but it doesn't do any good to throw to him because he hasn't turned to look for it yet. And I know that Scheid's just running the routes, and I think it's something that Todd Schultz is probably going to have to make some adjustments on, saying, hey, you know, you don't have all day back there to throw. Maybe we're going to have to shorten these routes because, yeah, Scheid was uncovered, but still running. All you would have done was sitting in the back of the jersey.
Yeah. Obviously, Scheid's pattern was just trying to get the other defender out of there and have the safety look at him and get him out of the play as well. I formation, 1 receiver split down to the bottom. And that was Goodwin, and they go to Richardson. Richardson loses yardage as he slips. Now, we haven't had any precipitation in a while, and the field was in pretty good shape, but he has slipped a couple of times down there, Joe.
Yeah, and don't forget that on that punt return, even Schmidt slipped when he tried to make a cut. And, you know, the field, even though it hasn't rained or anything, the field gets used for a lot of things, bands, soccer, lacrosse, whatever else. You know, there's a lot of things that happen on these football fields. JV games can just be a tough field to play on. One thing I've noticed so far is that, forgetting size, the speed of the Clawson defense is killing the speed of the Dondero offense. These guys can't even get there to lay their blocks.
3rd down and long now for the Oaks, so they go to the air. He's got time on the screen pass out to Richardson, and it was a forward pass, so the ball is dead, and it's 4th down and punting down again for the Oaks.
Yeah, and this is something, you know, it's funny, we saw them early in the year, and they actually looked better then than they do now, and you have to wonder, is that because you're 0-7?
Yeah, maybe the season is wearing on you.
Yeah, is your confidence gone, and are you sitting here just kind of wanting it to end? You know, and you hope that's not the situation, but you know, you totally understand it if it was.
Yeah, Dick Moore trying to get his team ready to get another possession here. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. They're going for the block and almost got it. Ball taken back there by Goff. Goff going deep and now cuts upfield. And Goff is finally brought down at about the 35-yard line.
All right. How many times I'll rip on refs for throwing the flag on that because usually they throw it when it's not a clip.
Uh-huh.
This time they didn't, and this is more of a clip than I've ever seen that didn't get called.
And something the Oaks could use right now,
Oh,
too.
man. Take a look at this thing. I hope we've got it. Because you're going to see what I think is a blatant clip coming up here. He turns, goes around, and you're going to see a guy get leveled. And I don't think you're going to see it here. But right there. That was more of a clip than some of the things we've seen get flagged. That's all I'm going to say.
And then finally brought down at about the 35-yard line of the Oaks. They have yet to get the ball. Well, let's see. They did get the ball in their own territory. I was going to say they've yet to get the ball in their own territory, but they did it on the first drive. And now on the last two drives, they've gotten it deep in Oaks territory.
Yeah, and you know, again, it makes it even easier for that Clawson defense, or Clawson offense, I should say.
Total yards 74. Dondero -3 right now. And I'll tell you, that clip call would have really helped the Oaks. But it may have ended up giving more yardage to Clawson if they would have had that. And there's movement there as Budakian moves in the backfield.
That's probably the first thing offensively they haven't done right. But again, the last time something went wrong, they got 2 points out of it.
Yeah, the first penalty against Clawson, and one earlier against Dondero. Clawson's worst field position was at their own 44-yard line.
And here you see a couple of key players that are missing tonight. Derek Ward on the left, Ryan Wargo on the right. It's good that Ryan's here. Remember, he was in the hospital earlier in the week. They were kind of hoping. They weren't sure that he'd be here for Parents' Night, but they are two defensive backs, and you saw what missing them cost Dondero on the first play of the game.
First play.
And Wargo's their best wide receiver, too, probably.
They go to the air again. Stark to throw, has his man complete, and he's just shy of the first down.
You know what was coming, don't you?
The pitch?
Yeah, that was the hook and lateral.
Yep, they were going to pitch back.
There's
see if we can see it.
No doubt in my mind he was supposed to pitch this to Schmidt, and I think that he just decided at the last second, hey, and I'm sure the coaches tell you this,
there it is.
If you're not sure of it, don't do it.
Yeah.
And Schmidt, I think for a second there thought, I'm going to get hit, plus I can't lateral forward. And LaPlante kind of looked at him like, oh, man, I blew it, but hey, they know it's there.
Yeah.
Tell you what, though, you don't need to be doing that right now.
Right.
Things are moving anyway.
Yeah, 3rd and short, 3rd and 1 now. And they go out complete to Schmidt, and he's finally driven out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
Dick Moore is so happy right now.
Everything's clicking, and you know what? His quarterback is throwing to his other receivers.
That's what I was about to say. That is only the 7th completion this season to somebody that's not Jason LaPlante.
And that's a tough pass, too.
That's an incredibly tough pass. And you know, like we were talking about their passing attack. He said, hey, you know, I've got a good quarterback in Gil Stark. He's a really good passer. I just wish he would look for somebody other than his best friend.
6'5", and he's at 182, so great size on Gil Stark. He can see the field real well. He hands off this time inside on the counter to Matt Brown, and Brown picks up maybe a couple yards.
And that offense just moving down the field, and they've got a lot of good blocking up front from their guys. Try to get all their names in eventually, but some of those guys, Eric Knock, also got some block coming from Adam Welch. Ryan McDonald, Brian Piercy, Brandon Brewer. They're doing a good job. Not just run blocking, but they're giving Gil Stark time to look for receivers.
Christian Davis, the center. In motion. And they go to the air. No, look at this. Touchdown. They go to the ground.
Yeah, Budakian.
And Budakian just runs over everybody.
Exactly, yeah. He just followed some blocking, spun once, and kept his legs moving even when he was going backwards, and you're right. Spun, spin, span, everybody.
Take a look at Budakian
He turned around.
Look at.
Now he just keeps his legs going and reaches.
He's in. Yeah.
Good awareness, too, to reach out there and get that over the goal line.
Great shot right down the goal line for you as he just dives in. 11 yards on the run for Budakian.
But you know what he's saying there? He's going, hey, last time I did all this, I got stopped at the 1, and I didn't get to score the touchdown, so I'm going to reach. And, I'm getting the 6 points.
4:37 left here in the first quarter. And Clawson has had 3 possessions and 3 scores.
Tell you what, Budakian is not their leading rusher either. It's Schmidt. Schmidt's getting over 6.5 yards per carry this year. But Budakian's been the man tonight.
Yep, the extra point for Lindsay is good. And there you see the score, 22-0. And we're in the first quarter with 4:37 left. So
you know, we've had to talk about this in other games, but never in the first quarter. But I think we got to mention it already, what the mercy rule is. Because we're at 22-0. And there's no sign that there's going to be any kind of change yet. Mercy rule, once the team's up by 35 points, you've got a running clock, basically.
And here's the scoring drive. 5 plays, 35 yards. 2:20 off the clock, 11-yard run by Budakian. And the extra point by Lindsay was good. Makes it 22-0 right now. And everything's going right.
That's right. And we're talking more. You know, that mercy rule exists for a couple of reasons. You know, so there are certain leagues where teams would run the score up. You know, onside kick with a 35, 40-point lead. It happened a lot in the PSL in Detroit. A few other leagues, a few other teams. Or they just keep the starters in there. And you don't want that. And also, the team that's down, hey, man, they're down. You don't want anyone getting hurt. And you just let the clock run, and you try not to make it too embarrassing. Of course, they could always run this thing back for a touchdown and get right back in it.
Well, if this game ends early, we could still run over and set up and do the game over.
Second half of Troy and Adams?
Yeah, maybe we could still catch that one. Andy's up for it. Andy Glansman, our statistician. Ball taken at the 10-yard line. And a nice run here. Take a look at Tim Towers and that cloud of players getting across the 40-yard line.
Well, that's the best field position they started with. Yeah. And you know, he was just maybe one block away from me being a prophet.
Yeah. Look at this.
Take a look at this thing. Towers is going to get it. He's going to do the same thing he's done before. Just run it up the middle, get the basic yardage first. Don't do any goofing around. Now you find a hole, follow your blocking. That whole special teams unit did a great job there. And then just ran out of blockers, and the last 2 guys and Clawson were the ones to stop him. Obviously, a couple more white jerseys jump on the pile after.
Yep.
Great return by Tim Towers.
30 yards on the return across the 40-yard line to the 42. Handoff inside to Lother. Lother tries to get back to the line of scrimmage and maybe gains a yard on it. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, you know, it's one thing if you want to use ball control with him to keep the clock moving a little bit and keep the ball out of Clawson's offense, but he's got to get more than a yard, and that's not all his fault. He's got to get some blocking up front. And remember, when you give him the ball, you also take away arguably your best blocker. This guy was an offensive lineman last year.
And you know he's going to work for you. And you see the defensive backs, and Schumacher made the tackle. And there's a familiar face.
Say hello.
Jim Evans.
You're the main star.
How you doing, Jim? One of his fans down there saying, hey, he's the main star.
That's right.
Well, he may be tonight. Here's Richardson on the run, and he picks up about 4 or 5. So it'll be 3rd and short coming up. Well, as short as it's been for the Oaks.
And yeah, this is their best opportunity. Everything else has been 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12. At least it gives you the option of a run-pass situation that Clawson defense can't just gear up and attack the quarterback here.
Richardson finally getting brought down, but 4 yards short of the first down. So DeLuca, will he go to the air or will he stay to the ground? Let's see what they do. They need to pick up this first down.
Keep an eye on 23 Scheid to the left side. On
the bottom of the screen there. They go to the tailback. Richardson trying to get the first down. He's going to be short by about a yard, maybe a little bit more. And it'll be 4th down. But with that run, they finally get into Clawson territory. That's the first time they've been across midfield.
And there's no doubt you got to go for it here. I know it's first quarter, but you're down 22-0. You got a shot at a first down and a chance to just kind of keep things going and keep it out of Clawson's hands.
So a good decision here, I think, by Todd Schultz. Right now, you're down 22-0, and you try to pick up this first down. It could change momentum for you, maybe lead to a drive here that could maybe get in the end zone. Let's see what happens. Power I right.
Watch for him to try to draw him off sides.
DeLuca with 2 tight ends. And he may try to drum off. I thought he was going to go for the sneak. They go to Richardson, and he picks up the first down.
Well, he followed Lowther right in there.
So a good decision for Todd Schultz as he picks up the first down with Richardson going behind his big fullback.
Boom. Freed him up. He didn't even go down. Lowther didn't go down, but he got through, and he's so big. It's the first down.
Their first down, the Oaks, and it gets them into Clawson territory. They were there on the play.
Previous play,
but
future Dondero Oak.
Just getting some needed rest, resting them up, maybe going in at halftime after a half. Fumble, and
that didn't look good from the start.
That did not look good at all. And on that one, you just, if you're a coach, you wish that DeLuca would just take it on a naked bootleg and just run it around the side,
well,
sort of.
I'll tell you what, DeLuca's I don't think he knew what was going on, but
well, Lowther had hit the ground there.
And
yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know if you saw it on the screen, but after the play was over, Lowther smacked himself in the head. So there's no doubt that he acknowledged he did something wrong. It was just a matter of him slipping and causing confusion on the play. Yeah, he should have done that little Doug Flutie thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just took it and
run for a touchdown.
Second and about 15 now as they lose 5 on the play. And they go to the shotgun. 2 receivers split down to the bottom of the screen. That's Scheid. And Goodwin. And they go to Goodwin, and he gets smacked by Goff.
Yeah, he didn't catch it, but even if he had, he wasn't going to hold on to it.
Well, Dan Goff was right there, the senior, to say hello to the junior, Justin Goodwin.
Dan Goff's eyes lit up, and I'll tell you, they better watch out Dondero better, because all you're going to do soon is have Dan Goff cover him a little tighter, and instead of drilling the receiver, he's going to take that ball and run the other way with it.
Yeah, and there's nobody to catch him. Well, you can hear that big train, and that train may just be the Clawson Trojans rolling to a big victory here as they lead 22-0 right now, and a big 3rd down and 15 for the Oaks.
Oh, man,
the pressure finally getting to him. He's got him open. Goodwin. Oh! Great effort by Goodwin on the diving attempt to haul in the pass.
Got to say something good, though, about Goodwin, because talked about it earlier, harped on it the last time we did a Dondero game, but DeLuca makes these nice, long, deep throws, and his receivers stop running the routes. And it's like, have some faith in the guy. He's going to get it to you. Like, Goodwin ran the route. It was perfect. The throw was a little long, but from that area, what are you going to do? And it's really in his hands. It's a matter of a step, really, of him just catching that. But he ran the route. He did everything you want your receiver to do. Just a matter of inches, and that's a great play. Might even been a touchdown.
Yeah. Just missed it, and there, the block attempt put on. And Matt Brown almost got it. Look at this. Clawson deep. Inside the 5 at the 1-yard line, and Goff maybe brought down. No, he springs out, and he gets across to about the 15-yard line. Boy, that could have been big trouble for Clawson and a big break for Dondero, but Goff did some nice footwork there to get away.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, once it touches his hands, he knows he's got to go pick it up. One of the things that they'll probably explain to him, though, with the rules, what he should have done was let it roll into the end zone anyway, because he never had possession. If he would just go down in the end zone, it would still be a touchback. Now, had he let it go in the end zone and not picked it up since he had touched it, Dondero could have scored a touchdown. But hey, far and away the worst field position of the night for Clawson. Another thing I would tell Ryan Deegan is, hey, the next time that Matt Brown grazes your foot, fall down.
Fall down, yeah. Take anything you can get right now. Brown in motion. And they're going to run this way with Schmidt. Flags all over the place. Schmidt diving across the 30-yard line, and it looks like this is going to come back.
Yeah, and whatever the penalty is, there's no doubt that this is a good call, because the 2 flags went simultaneously, and each official saw the same thing. And I was about to say, I think they've done a pretty good job. You know, they missed that clip that I kind of dogged them for earlier. But I have to give them credit. These guys are letting them play for the most part. They're not making any ticky-tack stuff. So if there's a flag, you probably did commit the foul.
So this will knock Clawson back quite a bit.
You know, half the distance anyway. All right, if you're Clawson now, what I would do, being up 22-0, is I'd go deep. Send LaPlace deep, see what happens. You've got backup guys in the secondary for Dondero. Just let it go. Then do it in the second quarter, I guess.
And that'll end the first quarter here as you see the penalty yards, 2 for 12, 2 for 10 each team. And Gil Stark talking it over as his team leads 22-0 as we end the first quarter. And the Clawson Trojans have a long drive ahead of them. And let's see what happens here in the second quarter. We'll be right back, if I can talk, right after these messages.
It's the way you inspire. It's the way you grow. It's the way you lead. It's the way you play. It's the way you work. It's the way you discover. TCI. It's the way you learn. It's the way you learn.
Dave Zorin and Joe Abramson back here for the TCI Game of the Week. The Clawson Trojans lead 22-0 over Dondero, and the Trojans have about 20 yards to go for a first down here.
Go deep.
Here's total yards, 111-1 total yards.
That's big.
That's shocking. This is the most lopsided we've ever seen in all the years we've been doing high school football. And unfortunately for the Oaks, they've got a long road ahead of them too, just as Clawson's got this long drive ahead of them. The Oaks need to step up now and come up with a big stop.
Well, Clawson they haven't had to look deep since that first play of the game, but they haven't done it, and I think this is a great opportunity for them to try to send LaPlace deep one more time. Just make sure that Stark looks for a secondary guy if he's not open.
They fake the run. They're going down the middle of the field, and that's a big step, too.
Tell you what, though, I now understand what Dick Moore's saying.
Yep.
That play right there showed it to me. He threw it short to LaPlace over the middle, and he's covered, and he's got Matt Brown down the left sideline who has beat his man. And he's probably not going to get a touchdown, Brown's not, if you throw it to him, but he's going to get the first down for you,
right
and he never looked at him.
Yeah.
Never even looked at him.
Down on the play for...
Well, that might have been from previous. That's on the sideline.
Okay, Barry Bain, who was down earlier, I guess.
Yeah, that looks like a cramp or something down there.
Second down and 20 now for Stark. At the ends, tidy Stark down the middle of the field again. And on the other side, he had Shoemaker coming across who was open. But again, he's keying on LaPlace.
He's so zoned in. It's like, well, you know what's funny? I mean, you don't want to jump on him too much because he's had a pretty good year. But, you know, the first week that Charlie Batch started for the Lions, they said, hey, the one thing he did bad was he looked at 84 and he never looked at anybody else.
Mm-hmm. You could see on the replay, Joe, that Shoemaker had about 5 or 6 yards between him and the defender. He was ahead of him about 5 or 6 yards.
I got to tell you, if I'm Dondero, I'm not going to respect any of those other receivers until I see the quarterback throw to him.
Yeah, right now, that would be a big move for the Oaks. Possibly come up with an interception. Here they try to get the draw here, and a big play to stop them on third down, and it brings up a fourth and punting down. Do you believe that?
You see who made that play?
Lothar.
Right, Lothar. Take a look at this. He just fights off the blocker, and it's over right now. It's over. He's not even.
It had nowhere to go. Lothar had his legs all wrapped up, and you got to hand it to the Oaks, who come up with their first big stop defensively and a punting down now as Lindsey has to punt from deep in his own end zone.
And Goodwin deep to receive it. Looks like there might be a block on here.
And great field position now for the Oaks. So they get it inside the 40-yard line at the 39.
All right, Lindsey did what I was saying Beacon ought to do. He got run into just a little bit by Richardson, and he fell. And I think the ref said, now, it's got to look a little better than that. And I think the ref just warned him of it. If you try to simulate that, and the ref thinks they can call unsportsmanlike conduct on it. It's an unsportsmanlike. It's 15 yards.
So there's a fine line between clever and penalties.
Have the drama teacher work with you, that's all.
Yeah. Great field position now, the best for the Oaks that they've had at the 38-yard line. Lothar in motion. They go to Richardson. Richardson getting hit at the line of scrimmage and falling forward.
It's a big guy. That's a big
there by
backfield.
Shoemaker.
It's a big backfield they've got, and they're going to have to use that size. And I still think if you're Dondero, now you got to look at this as a positive. Right now, for this little brief moment, you're winning the land battle, if you will. They've got the field position battle won. Now gain some yardage out of this thing, get on the scoreboard, and go from there. Because it looked early in the first quarter like they were just going to fall down and die.
2nd and 9 for Tony DeLuca. You see the clock here in the second quarter. DeLuca fakes the handoff, going down the field, and incomplete, intended for Dennis Wagnitz, the tight end.
Wide open Dennis Wagnitz, 6'1", 210 pounds, and throw was just a little in front of him.
DeLuca not very successful through the air. He is 0 for 6 here, Joe.
Yeah, take a look at this one. He turns, sets up, sidearm release. That's how he always throws it, and it just leads him a little too long. He tried to thread the needle. Maybe you try to get a little under that thing, go over the defense instead of through it.
I think the Oaks need to come up with some consistency on their offense and their drives. They have got to come up with some kind of bread and butter play to get them some yardage. They have yet to do that. It's 3rd and about 8. DeLuca to the air again. They try to throw out to Richardson, and he heard footsteps. And he knew that the defender was coming, and that was number 56, McDonald.
One of these times, though, that ball's going to get picked off and run back.
That's up for grabs, basically, out there.
One of the plays I'm surprised we haven't seen that we saw against Avondale with Dondero is quick hitch to Scheid. They did it a couple times, got it to Scheid, let him do what he can. And what it is, it amounts to a first down run. He gets 6 or 7 yards, but he allows you then to be more creative on second down.
That's what I'm talking about. They need to come up with a play like that that'll get them some for sure yardage like that instead of trying to come up with a little fancy play like they just ran.
We know that's in the playbook, so yeah, you just got to, somewhere along the line, you got to think they're going to use it.
The punt
too deep
is going into the end zone, so it'll come out to the 20, so not too much differential there, a difference of maybe, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 18 yards possibly on the difference.
But you know what? You want to pin them as much as you can. You got to try to win that field position battle. And Ryan Begans, in addition to the team, he wasn't with them earlier in the year, and he's just there to kick. He's a kicker and a punter, and he had a 48-yard, or no, it wasn't him either. They'll let him try a 25-yarder. That was Lindsey from Clawson. We'll talk about him, actually. He's the one who had the 48-yard field goal. Against Andover.
Big leg over there.
They say he's kicked 55-yarders in practice.
Yeah. Here's Gil Stark now. Let's see if he's going to be looking for other receivers, if Dick Moore has talked to him. Nice run here for Schmidt. Schmidt picks up the first down and more.
Well, you know what's funny? I was about to say, if I'm Dick Moore right now in a 22-0 game, you have a great opportunity to do something. Tell Gil Stark, guess what? You're not throwing. No, I'm serious. You know, I'm dead serious. Say, we're running the ball, and you don't get to throw until you show me you can throw to somebody else. This is a great chance because you're not costing the team the game. You're winning 22-0. Make him hand off.
Yeah, that's what they do here. Schmidt, big carry for the first down, but I think they're going to throw. Stark is on the sideline, as you see, 3 of 5 for 80 yards. And that's why we see a fumble, too.
You know what?
Because Stark's not in there.
This might be what this is about, too, though. He doesn't look hurt.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And so we got to apologize there to Dave Custer.
Yeah, it's a good time to get some work on your junior here. And Custer gets the ball back. David Custer, 6'1", 182 junior, as you see Gil Stark on the sideline. And as you said, why get him hurt? And it's a good chance to get some work in here for Custer. And look at this. Another good run for Matt Schmidt.
Well, Schmidt's been getting 6.6 yards a carry this season.
He's going to get that average up here tonight on that carry for about 8 yards.
Absolutely. Just keep going to him for a while. The thing about it is eventually they're going to let this guy throw it, and this defense is going to be so geared on stopping Schmidt that they're not going to let him hit him.
3rd down now for the Trojans as they get the ball across the 40-yard line. 3rd and 2. Fake the handoff up the middle, and look at this. A great counter fake. And Joe Marvin comes up with the run of 40, where was it? No, 55, 6, 7 yards plus. 57 yards or so. Let's take a look. They fake. This is what gets them right there.
Well, this is reminiscent of that Avondale game too, because this is what Avondale did on offense, and they were faking. They were faking me out. They were faking the camera guys out. They were faking the refs out.
Yeah. Well, that one I had to hold on for a second to see if they did give it to the fullback.
I even looked at Marvin, and for a second I didn't think he had the ball. I thought, oh, he's running out a really good fake, and then you notice these guys were really chasing him, and he was turning the speed on. Great run. Perfectly executed play, and now, yeah, I think you play your reserves already.
The extra point is up, and it is good. And another 7 points tacked on for the Clawson Trojans as Lindsay gets the extra point good, and it's 29-0. And that was without their starting quarterback, Gil Stark.
No, that's just the big fellas up front opening up a hole, and the backs carrying out the fakes real well, the quarterback carrying out the fake real well also, and then Marvin turning on the speed at the end. And also, there is the factor of 2 defensive backs not playing for Dondero, who might be a little bit faster, who might have at least tracked him down, not giving up a touchdown.
There you see the 80-yard drive as they started from their 20. 4 plays, 1:49 off the clock, and the 57-yard run by Marvin, Joe Marvin, caps it off. And we've got 8 minutes and 24 seconds left till halftime, Joe.
Well, again, the next touchdown, they don't even need the extra point, and unless there's something in the mercy rule about you can't have it in the first half, we've really never had to talk about it in the first half before. Unless there's something about that, then we're going to have the clock running.
I think we've only had one game where that rule has come into play, and then that was in the second half. I think it was in the fourth quarter even, so.
Well, and it actually, well, unfortunately, there was one, the Dondero-Avondale game, it happened as well. But yeah, you just.
That was a game, yeah, that was a game I didn't get a chance to go to, but so we've had a few here, a couple, as we see head coach Dick Moore looking on, and he's happy with the play of his team here tonight.
Absolutely. Now, you know, there's a fine line you got to draw here now if you're Dick Moore, because you can't have your guys led up by any means. You don't want to let a team get back in it, because you scored this much in the first half. There's no telling you that someone else can't do it in the second half, but you don't want to run it up or anything like that. And when you start putting the bench guys in, you have to let them play.
Here come the Oaks, starting at their own 20, and that's where they'll end up. On second down, not much on that one.
Yeah, he might have got a foot. I'm looking at the guy in the chains moving up a little bit.
Just a little.
That's
Oaks have had a tough time here tonight. They had some success in the previous drive, but now back at their own 20 again.
I'll tell you, I would like to see him go back to Justin Goodwin. Even though the throw was just past his fingertips, he beat the guys deep. The play worked. It's just a matter of executing the pass-catch combination. I think you got to go back to that.
The distortion that you hear is not the fault of your receiver, so do not worry about that. DeLuca, the throw incomplete. He had a man open. That was Scheid.
He had Scheid, and he also had Goodwin in the corner. And I'll tell you what, though, he didn't have time to look for him. Get a little bit of happy feet back there. And I think, you know, as the game goes on where you're not getting any yardage and the linemen are getting in there, you do have to get rid of it. But you see Scheid in the background.
Scheid was,
looking at him going, hey,
what about me?
Come on, you know, throw me the ball.
It's almost, Scheid right now, his situation, almost similar to the receivers when Stark was in there for Clawson. Say, hey, throw the ball to me. I'm open too, guys.
Keyshawn Johnson, throw me the darn ball.
3rd and long. DeLuca rolls out, look out. Gets away, and he's going to have to run now.
He had no choice.
It's back to the original line of scrimmage.
Tell you what, Dan Goff had Scheid covered, and that was the guy he was looking for. They haven't covered too well. That would have been picked off had he thrown it.
He needs some alternative. He needs somebody to go to as a safety valve because he only had one receiver to look at right now.
Yeah, he had Goodwin across the other side, but that's thrown across your body, and he really wasn't part of that play as far as being any type of primary receiver or even a second receiver.
And there he gets back to the 20, just across the 20. So 4th and 9 now, and a punting down for the Oaks again.
And they've gotten close a couple times. Keep an eye on number 16, Matt Brown.
And there's the block. Well, you called it.
Wrong guy, but I called it.
Wrong guy. But great field position nonetheless as they get it inside the 15-yard line.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Brett Gay's the guy who got the block, and basically Matt Brown did have something to do with it. Guy on the left end can only pick up one of the two of them. They both rushed. He picked up Brown. Gay got through, blocked it.
Big block, as you see right there, Brett Gay. And he'll go down inside the 15-yard line.
And we're still going to have the backup quarterback, Dave Custer, the junior. And this is important to get Dave Custer some playing time. It's nice to get it in the first half because you can at least justify letting him throw the ball once or twice. This is probably your starting quarterback next year.
Power eye left. And watch for this ground attack here. A fake to the fullback, go to Schmidt. Schmidt.
Man, oh man.
Touchdown.
That misdirection, and that's Schmidt's 7th touchdown of the year, but again, the misdirection bought him a lot of space.
They faked it really well, just as they did on the touchdown run for Joe Marvin. So here's another big drive here, Joe.
Big drive, one play drive. Great run by Schmidt.
It's been all Clawson, and now, Joe, we talked about that rule.
Well, we're going to find out whether it applies to the first half or not, because it's 35-0 now. This kick will make it 36-0, and PA announcer just kind of nodded over to us that it's a second half rule.
It is.
Which
so Clawson still has 6 minutes to go.
It has to go to the theory what I was talking about from a coaching standpoint, as that kick is good, that if one team can score however many amount of points they do in the first half, in theory, the other team can do the same. Once the game's halfway over, I guess you can justify what you're doing.
Right.
The clock.
Lindsey's extra point is good, and it makes it 36-0 right now here in the first half.
When very little has gone wrong for Clawson.
Well, you can't, in a game like this, you can't even say you doubt the commissioner. I mean, you can't even bring that up.
They're just executing it. No, because the execution is too well. Although they've been talking about the execution of the commissioner.
One of your better lines. Commissioner not listening to you right now.
Apparently.
6:22 left here in the first half. And Dick Moore, everything just going right for him. Gil Stark going in on the kickoff team. Gil said, hey, I want to play some. So.
Let me do something.
Yeah.
It's like Scott Dreisbach on the kick coverage for University of Michigan this year.
Yeah.
Although both quarterbacks are in there, and at smaller schools, Class B schools, you don't have those big rosters. Your quarterbacks do this. They play defensive back. They're not just quarterbacks.
Good kick. Taken about the 10-yard line, 9-yard line. Nice return set up, and they got across the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Justin Goodwin got it out there, but he got stopped by Goff and Brown. And good coverage that time by Clawson. Dondero with an injured player on the field, and they really can't afford to lose anybody else.
That looks like Brad Ennis, number 20.
And
here's the return by Goodwin.
And you're going to see Goff and Brown just get him right there. Now he's done. Brad Ennis, junior linebacker.
Here you see Ennis. Or correction, I'm sorry, that is Goodwin on the return.
The rest of the Dondero players taking a knee as they tend to Goodwin. And they tend to Ennis, I should say. Goodwin's a guy I'd like to see go deep again. Remember, he beat the guys deep. It's just a matter of getting the ball to him.
There's Ennis. He's okay. Possibly just got the wind knocked out of him. And see, he's probably going to go back in. He looks all right. Total yards right now, Joe. 205 for Clawson, 3 for Dondero.
That's
shocking.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't comment on that. It says enough right there.
Here come the Oaks. And again, Joe, as we talked about, they need to set up some sort of play that's going to work for them and go to it. And then spin something else off from that. Now they go with a run. Looked like a face mask right off the bat, but then they let up on that as Richardson
and, you know, the block
comes up with a few yards.
Blocking's not there. And it's not that they're not trying. Like I said before, I don't even think it's really the strength as it is the speed of Clawson. They're getting around the blocks. They're not letting the linemen set themselves up. They're getting away from them and getting to the ball carrier too quick.
Gain of 3 for Richardson. It'll be 2nd down and 7 now for the Oaks. Here you see Richardson, the tailback. One receiver split up top for Tony DeLuca. DeLuca to throw. He looks, stays, and he hits his receiver complete. And a great grab just shy of midfield for Wagnitz, and that is his first completion of the night.
I'll tell you what, I hope people watching know what kind of throw that was. That is so hard to do. He threw that through the coverage, and Wagnitz is open.
I think it hurt Wagnitz.
Oh,
the pass hurt him. Let's see where he catches it. If he catches it underneath his right shoulder
play
pad.
action. He's going to get flushed out of the pocket right here. Thinks about running. Now he sees Wagnitz open in a little bit of a pocket. Turns, sidearms it right through the middle. Wagnitz catches it. Now he's going to get drilled by a whole bunch of people. And I think he might have fallen on the ball here.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, he's holding it underneath his right shoulder pad.
But, you know, one thing, if you talk to quarterbacks, sidearm throwing is always more accurate than overhand throwing. It's just that it gets knocked down too much.
Pass tipped, and look out.
Be careful. And you got Richardson open on the other side. If you can come up with something where you can look him off. Look these guys off and then throw the other way.
Yeah, his receivers were bunched up too close together, and that is what makes this pass dangerous. A lot of defenders over there, Joe.
Yeah, you're just forcing it, and you're looking for trouble there. And, you know, that's something that you're sitting back going, well, I just threaded the needle on the last play. Why can't I do it again?
Yeah,
but your receivers don't want you to do that.
Yeah, and Budakian there makes his presence known defensively. You go until the whistle, guys, and that's what's going to happen if you fall short. Richardson running, and he's going to struggle to get back to the line of scrimmage. Well, I thought on that play he had a great opportunity to throw the ball. If he has any arm, there was nobody around him.
Yeah, but if you don't have plays, you know. You mean the runner?
I thought Richardson could have thrown that ball if he, you know, if they're looking for something to do.
Yeah, see on that, you can't do it spur of the moment. Obviously, offensive linemen are already downfield at that point, so you'd have a penalty if you did it, but you could probably set something up off of that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If there are coaches up here like you and I watching this, and they're trying to come up with a first down, well they've got to be experimenting right now with something.
You know, in the 7th week, I've got to think that they've covered everything in practice. It's just something that exists in the playbook's got to get used. Now, Richardson, I'm guessing this is an equipment timeout.
Yeah.
I think he lost his mouth guard and is getting a new one.
From the opposite side. I think the ref had found it.
Yeah.
3rd down and 9. I formation. Richardson, the tailback. He's going to have to block because DeLuca's throwing downfield, and a lot of white shirts there. And the interception taken by Marvin, Joe Marvin, number 24, who had that big 57-yard run. Now comes up with a big interception, and what that is a nice punt and a punt return.
I'll tell you, though, I think he's looking for Scheid deep. Scheid's kind of open. Goodwin's kind of open. He threw it between them. And he's just throwing off. I don't know if he's throwing off his back foot or if he's just not. Yeah, he is. He's throwing off his back foot, and he just didn't get it there. I don't know how open Scheid really is here.
No, double coverage.
But that's a short throw. It doesn't matter whether he's wide open if you're going to throw it short. And again, he's being rushed so much that he's got to throw off his back foot. And that's when you get the, I hate to call it Scott Mitchellitis, but throw off your back foot, and it's easy to pick off.
Ball just over midfield for Clawson. They give to the first man through. And Budakian comes up with a big run, close to a first down. So that time, they go to the first man through, and that catches everybody off guard.
Well, remember, that's what worked on their second drive, where they scored a touchdown on the first play of their first drive. But on their second drive, it was all Budakian, just giving it to him, letting everybody else flare out and take maybe a safety or a linebacker with you on the fake.
And it didn't fool our cameraman down there. Good coverage as they follow Budakian for the 9-yard run. They fake it to him this time and go to Schmidt. Schmidt, first down and more, across the 35 and close to the 33-yard line.
You know, I kind of like the way Custer does that. You know, he gives a fake through, and he kind of just sits there with the ball. And I'm a little shocked that there's no one there to drill him.
There's no penetration to get him, yeah.
Somebody's got to give him a little bit of pressure because he just sits there and makes a decision, do I want to give it to Schmidt or not? And really, you could let Schmidt go through and lead a block for you. And if Custer's got some speed, he could, you know, he could do something with it.
Clawson has scored 5 touchdowns in 14 plays.
That's unbelievable.
On their drives. Here they go to Pounders, Andy Pounders, and he pounds this one out.
And you know what, they're going to do this. They're going to probably get this right down to the goal line as the half ends.
Second down coming up. And you see Pounders here.
Yeah, somebody new to give the ball to.
Pardon my pun, by the way.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay. Second down and 2 now with 2:14 and
as long
counting.
as you don't say something if he has 25 yards that it's a quarter.
I don't know.
Never mind.
You see a fan watching the, hey, look at this. He's going to take it himself, and I think that was a broken play. He almost got the first down, and look at that. You've got the entire Oaks
Well, I'll tell you
left
what.
side of their defense over there.
And Custer's got to know those Oaks, the minute they get a chance to stop somebody, they're all going to want a piece of it.
Yeah.
And they did. They all got to be in on that tackle.
Broken play here, I think. Well, on the replay, it doesn't look like it was. Looks like it was meant to be a keeper. But if it was, he held up a little too long and didn't take off.
Yeah, Muller says, hold on a minute, let me get my friends over here. And
But in the live action, it looked like it was a broken play. Well, only they know. They go to the fullback.
First down.
And that's a sure first down as Budakian takes it across the 20. Close to the 20. I don't think he made it to the 20. But he got the first down.
You know, it's really a great opportunity, again, to give Dave Custer some playing time. And you really couldn't ask for anything more. It's the 8th week, so you get him some time. Gil Stark's a senior. You really don't want to sit him in week 9 because that's his last game. It's a perfect situation for Clawson. Tough part's going to be justifying letting him throw the ball in the second half. I don't think you're going to be able to do that.
Budakian stacked up. Well, there's a first, and it's nice to see. And Lothar is there to stop him. There's a good one-on-one. Lothar and Budakian, something you'd like to see more of. 2:45s going at it.
And you got the clock running, and Clawson in no real hurry. Pretty good numbers there, 6 yards a carry. A lot of that in the first quarter.
Yeah. He's had more of the fake handoffs here, and that have really drawn a lot of attention and given his other backs some big yardage. They go to the tailback, Pounders. Pounders across for the first down, and it's first and goal, Clawson.
Now the clock stops with 19 seconds for them to move the chains. Now if you're Clawson, do you call a timeout here? I really think that you should. I know you're up 35, 36-0, but let this guy try to run a 2-minute drill. Let him see if he can do something.
The clock hasn't started yet. Now it'll start.
Is he going to spike the ball is what I want to know.
See what they do.
So.
No.
Throw the fade to Brown.
Ball is at about the 7-yard line. First and goal from there. He's taking it himself. He's got a lot of room to run, and it looks like a touchdown for Clawson. 7 yards on the run.
Yeah, Custer, the backup quarterback, gets himself in the end zone.
With 4 seconds left.
Man, that's 6 touchdowns, and it seems like it's 6 different guys have scored. I'm not sure if that's the facts,
that
but
is true.
It is 6 different guys, so you're really sharing the wealth here.
A lot of names in the paper this week.
That's right. Coach has to pick which names he uses when he calls which paper, kind of spread it around a little bit.
Jim Evans going to have a lot of names to write tonight. As Lindsay
and that kick
puts another extra point.
Hit your car.
Did it? Excuse me a second. I'm going to go down. Well, I got 4 seconds
He
left.
went over the buses with that thing.
He really gets a good leg into it.
Yours is the brown Mercedes, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
wish. Yeah, I don't have to worry then. Take a look. Here it is.
Look at this thing.
And
Boom! This
look
is
at that.
this is the guy that kicked
Over the
55
screen.
yarders in practice. Over the
And
buses.
right on my car.
Nothing but net.
And it's 43-0 Clawson. And there's your drive. 8 plays, 49 yards, 3:41 off the clock, and the 7-yard run by Custer.
Again, I'm just guessing. Hopefully Andy can nod yes or no if I'm right, but I'm guessing that's the longest scoring drive in terms of plays and in terms of clock time.
Yeah. So it
And-
was not Custer's last stand.
No, and it was perfectly managed because all they're going to get to do with the Oaks, I'm saying here, all they're going to get to do is return a kickoff. And, oh boy.
My apologies again for that pun. But
And you have to decide which quarter pounders is going to score in.
there you go. All right, Joe coming back with a good one of his own. All right. 4 seconds left here in this first half.
See, the kids that are watching the game are going, what a bunch of idiots.
And the kickoff by Lindsay. Taken at the 30. Brought around to about the 40-yard line. On the return, Joe Deere. And that'll do it for the first half. And I think a sigh of relief, too, for the Dondero Oaks as they go into halftime now and try to come up with something to stop the Clawson Trojans. It's been all Trojans, and we can say that tonight. All Trojans, 43-0 here at halftime.
Is it over? Yeah, this is just a rout. I mean, you can't even sugarcoat this thing.
No, and we'll be back with halftime stats for you to show how lopsided it is right after these messages. Stay with us.
I'm the king.
The rock and roll?
No coupons. I'm Mike Gauthier. Some people call me the king of coupons because nobody brings you bigger savings than my market share coupon book. Having trouble saving money? Then do what the Tripp family does. Carry the book, Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. You'll save thousands on things you use every day, like eyeglasses, oil changes, and cleaning from companies you trust. But you can't save unless you carry the book. Remember, you'll save a king's ransom using my Market Share Coupon Book.
Rumor has it, Comet Burgers is definitely the place to be seen in downtown Royal Oak. After the party, out for dinner, just looking for cold soft drinks, great burgers and fries, milkshakes or pizzas. Comet Burgers is the place to run into just about anybody.
Excuse me. Thank you very much.
Even old what's-his-name. Comet Burgers, they're out of this world.
When you call Modernistic, we'll show up with this. $35,000 worth of carpet and upholstery cleaning technology.
Call the competition. They'll probably show up with this.
Our truck-mounted equipment can professionally clean your carpets with 10 times the power of portable cleaners, removing dirt, harmful bacteria, pollens, and more.
The competition can't.
Of course, there is one thing the competition does that we can't.
They make a lot more noise.
Modernistic, count on us.
So the tire store guy says, great deal on them tires. You want valve stems? No thanks. Your tires won't work without valve stems. They're extra. Then he told me all the other extras I needed. So guess what happened to my great deal on them tires?
Only Bell Tire gives you out-the-door pricing. You get the guaranteed lowest price, and at Bell Tire, it's the total, complete, everything's included price with absolutely no extras ever.
Bell Tire.
Nobody comes close, nobody's closer.